Hey everyone. So update for today. It's the 5th of May. May this the Sith be with you, right? This has been going around. And I wanted to talk about some of the Eastern European elections, Canadian elections, etc. There's a guy I have here. I'm going to play his video right after I'm done yapping. He's from an Eastern European country. It might even be Germany. I forget what he mentions, but he's talking about again another shift happening in these Australia, Canada, and then these Eastern European countries. And it's been a shift again back over to bringing in left wing leadership, an attack on what they call right wingers. Anyone that has any conservative thought whatsoever in that sphere, they call them radical right wing. So it's kind of been a multitude of things. It's been attacking right wing parties. I think in Germany, they've decided to make the right wing party ineligible to run again through something. He can explain it far better than I can. And Australia doing the same thing. The Conservative Party struggling a lot, and their Labour Party or their Democrat Party winning, almost overwhelmingly, quite a bit. And then the same thing happening in Canada. Now, with Canada, this seemed like it was a reaction to Trump winning and Trump's tariffs and all of that was happening. But so it was like out of spite. So rather than putting in a conservative in that I'm guessing what the people are thinking at this point, but instead of bringing in their version of a conservative that they're afraid may work with Trump, they've put in these radical lefties. These other guy is just another Trudeau, who is officially won now. Is like a thumbing their nose at America and at Trump for going right and going with Trump, and these other countries seeming to do the same thing as well. Maybe they're doing something similar. Their actions of voting in left wingers is a response to America going kind of heavy right currently, at least for the next 4 years, and then we see what happens. But what absolutely amazes me and the stupidity of people, because we can have the conversation and go, oh well, these people that get voted in, they're screwing over the taxpayers, they're overcharging everyone, they're bringing in illegals that hurt people. In all of these countries, France and the UK are going through it way worse than we are with what they've allowed. It's a mess. And you go, well, I blame those people that got voted in. I blame those people that are in office, but they got voted in by these morons who want these things to happen. If you vote in that left-wing leadership in the country that you're in, you know exactly what you're getting. You're continuing to get the open borders. You're continuing to get the dangerous illegals that are taking over I've seen some video from the UK of the streets where that normally they'd have vendors and all kinds of things going on, and it's a happy, fun place with all kinds of things to do. Now it's absolute trash all over the place. I don't just mean the people. I mean, there is garbage littered all over the place. It hasn't been cleaned. It looks like a skid row in Los Angeles. And then all of the migrants that are milling around. I mean, when I watch that video, I really rarely even ever saw one white national British person that was there, or someone that was a British citizen, right? It could be dark skinned and a British citizen. And I hardly ever saw that. It was all really dark-skinned migrants, illegal immigrants that had come in that were just milling all over the place and using their benefits that are being given to them by the, against their will by the tax-paying people, being forced to give that. And for the life of me, whatever decision they're making, you're reacting to Trump getting into office, you're reacting to things changing in the United States, or whatever it is that they're making these decisions and voting these people in. And maybe anyone that follows the show or is from these countries, and you can tell me you're from England, you're from France, you're from Australia, you're from Canada, and you can tell me in the comments what the mindset is of these people to keep voting these left-wing Labor Party Democrats in, that continue to push policies when they get in that hurt the taxpayers of your nation. It's a purely spite thing. So you vote them in, you know you're going to get screwed. You don't care because you want to send a message to the other side or something like that. I honestly don't get how people can be so foolish. It's like you're all getting kicked in the nuts by these policies that these labor parties and these radical left Democrats of your country are putting in place. And the people's response seems to be, thank you, sir, may I have another? Keep it coming. This is great. Keep it coming. Yeah, climate change. I mean, we can't prove it. Nothing's happening. But yeah, climate change. I want more solar power generators and crap that doesn't really work right. Give me more of that. That's even more expensive than anything else. If anyone can just clue me in, are they really so stupid that this voting base that they willingly buy what those labor parties and Democrats say, hook, line, and sinker, or is it something else? Let me know in the comments, because it's just crazy for me to see these countries that have been struggling with these left-wing labor Democrat policies and what it's doing to families and taxpayers within your nations and here in the States as well. And your answer is vote that in and I want more of that. You guys can let me know. In the meantime, check this video out right here. This guy goes all over all of the Eastern European elections, Australia, etc., and gives you a little more context on them. So this is a little bit of a long video. Bear with me. I'm going to put his in there too. You see his name in the top left-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner, excuse me. And, please check him out as well. I like to, anytime I get a video from someone else, I try to give him credit for, credit where it's due. All right. Thanks, everyone. That's the update for today. And I'll talk to you guys real soon.
Good morning from the end times. Europe is not democratic. Europe is a totalitarian communist state system. Yesterday, the German secret services announced that they believe the AfD, the Alternative for Germany political party, is classifiable as right-wing extremist, which means that the German parliament will be allowed to ban the AfD from participating in elections, probably next year, despite the AfD being now the number 2 party in the nation, right? And meanwhile, police officers, teachers, and military personnel will not be allowed to be members of this party any longer. In France, of course, Marine Le Pen was convicted. She was the leader of the Rassemblement National, set to be president of France, and she will not be allowed to participate in the elections. Although her party hasn't been banned yet, and the number 2, Bardella, will be allowed to run. But he, of course, is less popular. In the Netherlands, a law has been passed already that will come in effect in 2026, next year, saying that the High Court judges will be allowed to ban political parties simply for disagreeing too much with whatever you're not allowed to disagree with, such as the FVD party, the Forum for Democracy, which I expect may be banned next year then. Of course, it doesn't end there. I have a whole list here of other countries in Europe that are messing with democratic values. In Estonia, a small country, they have about 80,000 Russian citizens who've been living there since the collapse of the Soviet Union, the 1990s, but they have been stripped of their voting rights because they might vote pro-Russian. In Romania, of course, Georgescu had already won the elections and was then banned from becoming president because he was too pro-Russian. Another candidate in Romania was also banned from participating. Even now we have new elections in Romania and the people still vote right-wing and still kind of vote pro-Russian, but of course NATO and the EU will tell that country what to do with the results. We can be sure of that. In Moldavia, there is a autonomous region called Gagauzia, and the leader of the political party who won in that region has been arrested. In Spain, the socialist government has decided that all media outlets need to register with a media registry so that the government will decide who your directors and shareholders will be allowed to be. Croatia also has passed laws, like many other countries, saying that if you disagree with the government, basically you're guilty of disinformation and you can go to jail for up to 5 years. You're not allowed to have freedom of speech in Europe. And then, of course, we have countries like Belgium, also the Netherlands and Denmark, where you have a system of a cordon sanitaire. So imagine in a multi-party political system, you have 7 parties in parliament, but one of them, who won 30% of the vote, is considered unlikable by the communist elites. What happens is the other 6 parties will then refuse to work with that pariah, with that scapegoat party. They will not allow any propositions of that party to come through. Basically, that party, despite having won a large portion of the popular vote, will not be allowed to participate democratically. Then, of course, in Greece, you also have the fake news laws that will put you in jail for 5 years. And famously, in Italy, although Italy got its Giorgia Meloni, who was supposed to be a far-right woman, even flirting with the fascists, turns out she's just another woke ideologue who cares more about replacing Italians with immigrants than about Italians. Now, and if you disagree with any of this, of course, they'll call you a Putin lover and a pro-Russian spy. But my point is this. It's always been those leftists and Democrats and socialists always hammering down their point that democracy is the most important thing ever. But it's them dismantling democracy. As soon as the people, for example, the people of Eastern Europe, started voting against the interests of the European Union and started voting against NATO interests, all of a sudden NATO starts telling you who your president is allowed to be. That's not democratic. My point is, I want leftists, socialists, and so on, that clique of people, to come out publicly and admit that they don't care about democracy and that they are, in fact, totalitarian communists.